Hello everyone. So my name is Lindsay and I am the founder of World Changing Kids. And we're here today with the awesome kids in our Upstanders Academy. And today we are going to interview a really inspirational woman who works for a company that I've been following for a little while now, who does awesome things. The company is called Wyatt and Jack, and they take old inflatable pool toys that no longer can be used because they were broken or they just don't work anymore, and they turn them into cool bags and accessories. So this is an awesome idea for the kids to know about, to think about, plant the idea in their minds of how they can reuse and divert items from our landfill. So we're going to start with letting Georgia tell us about her awesome company, and then the kids are going to ask some questions. So here we go. Away to you, Georgia.
Okay, hi, hello again. Well, it started about 10 years ago with deck chair canvas and sunbed fabric from the beach. I don't know if you have deck chairs there. Do you have deck chairs?
Not in the same way you do, but I tried to show them what they were.
Dry ones, yeah.
Yeah, with the good fabric. We would have more like plasticky, like it wouldn't make anything out of it. Our
Really?
chairs, but
yeah.
Yeah.
And then moved on to bouncy castles, and then because there's a lot of waste produced during the making of bouncy castles, and then obviously when you guys are finished on them, or bouncy houses you call them.
Yeah, bouncy castles, bouncy houses. Yeah, we know those for sure.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
then after that, when they finished being bounced on, where do they go, you know? So then that kind of led on to the inflatable amnesty, which is where people can send in things that they have broken that they can then send to us instead of sending them to landfill. And it's about 200 tons now, I think, probably. There's been, well, it's over that now, that we've managed to swerve from landfill. And that fabric is really hard. Inflatables can be recycled if they're, I don't know if you've learned anything about this on your talks you've been having, that it can be pelletized, which means it can be sort of made into pellets and melted and reformed into something else. But that process is quite toxic. And bouncy castles can't be, because their fabric is mixed, so you can't separate that fabric, so you have to make it into something else because it can't be recycled. So instead of going through another process, we're just hoping to divert things and then mix them with other fabrics that enhance each other, and then prolong the life of that fabric. And then we have to also be responsible for the things that we're putting out there. So we have like a repairs policy and an end of life policy forever. So once you buy a bag, that bag remains our responsibility forever. And then when it becomes useless as a bag, then we ask you to send it back. We can remake it into other things, and then you can have vouchers towards other bags and stuff. So we remain responsible for that item throughout its life, hopefully.
Right. That's amazing. I love that policy.
Yeah, I think it's, we used to repair things, didn't we? We used to, and I think people have stopped repairing things. That fabric is really tough. Right. So it might be like a zip is not as tough as that fabric. So also there are some things that we can't actually get recycled because sometimes the thinking is ahead of the processes that are in place for that. And sometimes those things are also really expensive, and we would have to pass that price point on. But one of my big things is that I think people should be able to afford these products, because sometimes when you talk about things that you guys have been listening about, like a t-shirt that might be made with organic cotton or in a sustainable way, perhaps it's really expensive. And that price point, I think, makes living that way harder for people. So if things were a little bit less expensive, then more people could live the lifestyle that they believe in. So we're just trying really hard to make sure we don't go above a certain price as well, you know?
Yeah.
And then when we can't fix something, that's why we ask to have it back, so that we can then make it into something else afterwards again, you know?
Right. So it doesn't end up in the landfill after the first person uses it. It can keep having a life.
Yeah. And then the parts that we cut off, we give to a lady, and she makes earrings from bouncy castles, and then she's using our offcuts as well. So things that are too small for us to make into other things, then she takes those. And we've just started working with another person that I can't mention at the moment, and he's going to make some things. And so we try not to throw away. I mean, we are zero waste. We try not to throw away as much as possible, you know. Sometimes we have to, if we get like a really old flamingo or something like that, it's been in somebody's garage for 10 years, we take off parts that we can use, but the rest of it we have to throw away. But, you know, in the main, we're not throwing much away at all. So